Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kim. If you're joining me here again, thank you. I appreciate your support. So tonight's video is going to be all about how I've cut our grocery budget in half. So for a long time it's been $400. I would say on a regular basis I always spent a little bit more than that. And if you included our household expenses, which I'm not including in tonight's video at all, we were probably closer to 480 or 500. Now we've got a whole different plan for household expenses like our paper products and toiletries and stuff, which I'll go into in a later date. But this video is just going to be about how, without couponing or any type of apps or anything like that, going on diets or restricting ourselves or anything, I was able to construct a meal plan that is cutting our grocery budget in half. So I spent under $250 this month on groceries. And of course, we're at the end of the month, so I don't anticipate any more expenses. I would have to write in the description, because I didn't look it up, how much I spent last month, but I know that it was well under the $400 budget, and I don't anticipate spending more than $250 in March or going forward, and may even be spending less by getting local produce when that starts in June. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. I do have a little bit of the trying to get used to the vlogging style, so I've included a couple of things like that, but you know, that'll take a little bit of getting used to. Moving forward, I probably will go down temporarily to one video a week, because I am concentrating a lot of my time on trying to find another job and also interviewing. But once I gain new employment, it will go back to 2 times a week. And if I have material in a week's time to make 2 videos, I will do that while I'm interviewing for new jobs. And so before I end my intro, I would like to thank everybody for all of your support, all of the watching of my last video, and how much love I was given on that video, the love and the support and the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping here and watching my videos and taking time out of your precious day to leave a comment, to talk back and forth with me and give me support. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. So without further ado, here's tonight's video. Okay, let's take a look at my monthly meal plan. I used it fall and winter. Soon I'll be switching to a different one for spring. It's a monthly meal plan that I had kind of perfected over time. I really started it November when I had turkey, along with the chicken and the ground beef. And so just different things have happened. My husband kind of likes Aldi ground beef, so we don't go so far anymore for the ground beef that we had been buying for almost 30 years. And so now we just have to go as far as Aldi, and we found a local source for chicken in case the local grocery store doesn't carry our chicken. We've also got a second local source for produce in case prices get too high for eggs and produce in the grocery store. So I've had to work on things like that and everything that I can think of to have a plan B, a plan C, to try to keep our grocery costs down and eke out some sort of a savings here, just with everything that's been going on in my life as far as losing a job and really needing to save. All along we've needed to save money, and so this is just another way to do it. So what we came up with was we could create meals from chicken and ground beef. I love chicken. It's basically the only meat that I eat now. My husband loves ground beef. He's not about to change. I will eventually like to change and go away from eating chicken and just be plant-based. I have done a plant-based diet previously and felt really good with it, especially with the protein drink that I was drinking at the time, and it's no longer sold. So I went back to chicken, and now I'm dealing with chicken until I can find another source of protein. So chicken and beef it is, and that's what we're going to buy every month as long as we can afford it. So our chicken is a 4-pound chicken by the same company we've been buying chicken from for years, and it costs $6.99. I buy 4 of them a month. Generally, I roast up, I always roast up all 4 of them, and generally one of them becomes a chicken dinner. with the other chicken being used, if I don't make a second chicken dinner in a month, then I use the chicken from the roasted chickens on chicken wraps, chicken tacos, more additional small salads for myself, chicken with rice, or chicken with noodles whenever my husband has a meal with red meat. So when we do the roast chicken, I have gone over this in previous videos. We break down the chicken and into servings for a chicken salad sandwich, servings for our loaded salads that we have every single week, and then also we take a portion out because I make homemade soup at least once a month for my husband, so we need a portion of the chicken meat, and of course we use all the thigh meat. So for our first initial roasted chicken, I eat the wings and the legs, which I enjoy, and my husband has about 2 ounces of a breast. And then, like I said, we break down the rest of the chicken, and then I take the chicken carcass, put it in a stock pot, 6 to 8 cups of water for 6 hours with celery, onion, turmeric, salt, and pepper, and carrots. And it simmers there for about 6 hours. I usually get 4 cups so that I can make chicken stock with it. I freeze it. We freeze all the portions of chickens for future sandwiches or salads. 5 meals come out of 1 roasted chicken at $1.40 a serving. And then what we ended up doing, I don't know if I said this in the beginning of the video, is I created some videos not too long ago that showed how we were going to use up all of the produce that I processed last summer and fall. I had done sweet corn, zucchini, eggplant, squash, tomatoes, green beans, peas, snap peas, all of that. And we have gone through all of that produce. And I figured we would probably get through it by the end of the year, the first part of the next year. I was hoping it would stretch a little longer, and we were planning on getting some produce over the winter from our local farmer, but she did not sell this winter, so we had to continue to eat what we had on hand, which basically cleared us out. We had the ham a couple of weeks ago, and then we had the turkey a couple of weeks ago. So once we did get the freezer completely cleared out, we cleaned it, or we defrosted it, and then we cleaned it, and then we unplugged it. And it's been unplugged until in January I went and bought 4 pounds of ground beef from Aldi and 4 chickens from our local grocery store. And I did the same this month, cutting our grocery budget basically in half. With the first pound of ground beef, normally I do the food prep for this right away. So as soon as I come home from the grocery store or the following day, I make up 4 meatballs for 2 future spaghetti and meatball suppers, so 2 meatballs each meal. And then I take the rest of it and I make 2 quarter-pounder hamburgers. My husband used to have 2 hamburgers at one time. He now has 1, as long as I make homemade fries, which I do. I make home fries, and I also make our own hash browns. So it's $1.32 per meat serving there because there's 4 meals that come out of that 1 pound. And then the next one, I make that Minnesota casserole out of a half a pound of ground beef, and I make tacos out of the other half a pound. And then the nights that he has tacos, I have chicken tacos. So though that creates 5 meals at $1.06 per meat serving, or per ground beef serving there. And then with the next pound of ground beef, I do a cottage pie, ground beef, fresh or leftover mashed potatoes, onions, garlic, spices, peas, carrots, and corn. There's the recipe. 6 servings come out of that, and it's 88 cents per meat serving. And last but not least, the Korean beef bowl with the recipe below there. That yields 4 meals at $1.32 per meal serving. And that all of those meals make up 24 meals a month. So a month we go through those 4 pounds of ground beef and those 4 roasting chickens. And then when we go and have to shop to get the ingredients for those meals that are listed above, so the ground beef costs us $21.16, the 4 chickens cost us $27.96, and then we have the following items that we need to buy in order to complete the meals: celery, carrots, cucumbers, a bunch of green onions, a regular onion, garlic, ginger, peppers, tomatoes, zucchinis, lettuce, frozen corn, frozen peas, frozen mixed vegetables, a small can of tomato paste. I use egg noodles for my casserole, onion soup for your meatballs. Otherwise, the meatball mix that I use is homemade, and it either gives you a meatball that tastes like an Italian meatball or a meatball that tastes like a Swedish meatball. Brown rice for your Korean beef, and a block of cheese for the tacos. And then check your pantry for if you want to use sesame oil for the Korean beef, salt and pepper, taco seasoning, your shells or your wraps, mayonnaise, ketchup if you use it, mustard if you use it, and buns. We use bread. Those groceries and the meat total $92.40. And then you need 7 more economical meals because the meals above only yield you 24 meals. So these give you leftovers, homemade pizza. It's usually a very large pizza that I make with homemade crust and pizza sauce, mozzarella cheese, and whatever meat topping or no meat topping. Breakfast, if we have the French toast, I always make extra French toast. So you can have a fried egg sandwich and homemade soup, or scrambled eggs and homemade hash browns. And like I said, French toast I make extra. And my husband likes to have bacon with that. Or I'll just make an omelet. And then we do vegetable stir fry 3 times a month. So whether it's leftover vegetables or fresh vegetables, these are 3 meatless meals that we do a month. And so there's 2, 4, and 7. And each one of them, like I said, will give us leftovers, and those the additional groceries for those 7 meals usually comes at $42. And then we have staples that we buy every single month, and that's a gallon of milk, 4 bunches of bananas a bunch a week, oranges, usually 2 to 3 bags, 2 to 3 bags of apples, a pound of butter, 18 eggs, 4 loaves of bread, if I don't make bread, a box of cereal, and 4 tubs of yogurt. So that comes to a grand total for groceries of $217.40. That's $108.70 per adult every month, or $54.35 every week spent on groceries, or $7.01 spent per day on food, or $3.51 per person per day on food. So those are the numbers, and that's how it worked. And it's working for us. Soon, I'm not sure when right now we're trying to, we have the meat in the chest freezer, but that's not really economical to have so little food in a chest freezer. And it's just a small one, but still. So we're working on making room for it in the freezer above the refrigerator until I start processing vegetables from our local farm stands and such. And then when the freezer gets, quarter full or half full, then yeah, we'll definitely put our meat back in the freezer. But pretty proud that we got to the bottom of the freezer. We're able to eat up all of the vegetables that I worked so hard on processing last summer. Got it cleaned out and ready for food to be put in there again this summer, and have managed to create meals that we actually look forward to, that I think are good for us, healthy for us, made mostly from homemade ingredients or produce and a meat source. Nothing really processed. You don't have to buy a lot of pantry staples for it or anything like that. So yeah, having $217.40 spent on groceries when I was in the last year spending $400, $420, $440, $480, and 2 or 3 years ago we were spending $600. Not too many years ago we were spending $800, $1,000. When we first moved into this apartment, we were spending close to $1,200 on groceries and just paper products for the house. We were buying an enormous amount of groceries. Going grocery shopping sometimes 2 times a week. There was obviously waste. Never too much processed food. We have been in this just eating meat and homemade meals for at least 10 years, maybe a little bit more. But there was lots of snacking going on and lots of buying stuff and just trying it, and there was eating out and stuff like that. Where now we don't eat out at all. We wanted to eat out for our 30th anniversary. Unfortunately, I lost my job, so we're waiting with that meal out until I find a new job. So then that'll be something to celebrate. So, yep, pretty pumped about this. If you want, I'm going to have this in a Google Doc so that you can click on it. And you know, the way that it would work for you is if you're happy with ground beef and can find it at affordable prices, you're happy with just eating chicken and ground beef, you like some of the meals that I mentioned, yeah, and you know, you're okay with, you know, basically creating meals and stuff like that. This would be a great way to take a budget and basically, you know, really cut it down. And if your budget's, you know, $400 or $500 a month, this would be a terrific way for you to cut it in half. So I just thought I'd share that in tonight's video. Okay, and this is my plate for Sunday night meal. So I just thought I'd share that with you. We usually have roast chicken and potatoes or rice and vegetables. But I released a video about the loss of my job, and I have a lot of comments that I need to get back to. So my present self thanks my past self for putting away some chicken from the last roast chicken we had, because I pulled that out last night and thawed it out, and so we made wraps from that today. And then we had some leftover rice from a meal this past week, so I just reheated that. And then I have a dill pickle spear, which is some of my favorites. So yeah, that's what my plate looks like for a Sunday night dinner meal. If you've ever wondered how many oranges it takes to make 2 glasses of orange juice, well, I don't know how much is in either one of these as far as ounces. This is a fairly good size coffee cup, fairly good size drinking glass, both filled to the top, and it was 10 oranges for $2.64, and so fresh orange juice. And here's one of the ways that we use that chicken up. So when I said that you take a little portion of it for our loaded salads, there it is. And then we have zucchini that I purchased in one of the last grocery hauls that I showed. And then we have some hard-boiled eggs. And then we add, well, my husband adds beets and croutons, and I add tomatoes and cucumbers. I don't use salad dressing. My husband uses homemade ranch salad dressing, and that's how we use up that portion that will also be in tonight's meal plan and grocery list for our loaded salad.